Hello Walbrook and Westbourne, I hope you are all well. In today's lesson we are going to begin to innovate our story maps to create a new version of the poem. So there's two ways that you can do this. If you have post-it notes at home, you can cut post-it notes to the right size and stick them over your original story map just like we do in school. If you don't have any post-it notes, you can cut up little pieces of paper and glue or tape them over the top. For this lesson, you're going to need your story map from Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, post-it notes or some little pieces of paper that you can cut and stick over the top. You'll also need a pen or pencil. Let's read the first part of our poem map together. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note. Owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh lovely pussy, oh pussy my love, what a beautiful pussy you are, you are, you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Right at the start, we are introduced to two characters from the poem, the owl and the pussycat. These are the very first things that we are going to innovate. In the poem, there are some rhyming words, so we will need to think carefully about the words we choose, as some can be tricky to find a rhyming partner for. In the second stanza, the poet rhymes owl with fowl. Can you think of a new character that you can also find a rhyming partner for? Pause the video and think of your new characters. There's some ideas on the screen to help you. When you're ready, press play. The next character we need to change is the pussycat. We don't need any rhyming words for this character, so you can choose whatever you like. My poem now has a fox and a flamingo. The fox and the flamingo went to sea. Can you read your first line? In a beautiful pea green boat. Can you innovate the word beautiful? What other words could you use instead? What are some synonyms of beautiful? Do you remember what a synonym is? It's a word that means the same as another. Some synonyms of beautiful could be wonderful or amazing. Can you think of some others? Maybe the boat in your poem isn't beautiful. What are some words we could use that mean the opposite of beautiful? That's an antonym. Maybe it's tattered, a tattered up pea green boat. You might even want to change the colour. Blue. Think of something that's blue. Sky. A wonderful sky blue boat. Maybe you want to challenge yourself further and innovate the whole line. Maybe in a mega powered super speedboat. Have a play around with some ideas and choose your favourite. Put the picture of that on top of your original. Pause and think and press play when you're ready. They took some honey and plenty of money. For this, we need a new rhyming pair. I'm going to put some ideas on the screen, but you'll need to work out which ones rhyme. So now you have changed honey and money for some new rhyming words. Wrapped up in a... Now this word needs to rhyme with boat from the second line too. If you look at the rhyme scheme, boat and note are both yellow. What rhymes with boat that you could wrap something in? Wrapped up in my grandma's coat. Wrapped up in a beautiful coat. The owl looked up to the stars above. Remember to change your character now from the owl. And sang to a small guitar. What verb could you use to describe what your new character is doing? Maybe they danced, or yodeled, or chanted, or squealed. Oh lovely pussy, oh pussy my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. There's lots of ways you can change your character's name here. If you've got dog as your character, you might call him Doggy, or bat would be Batty. Mine's Flamingo, so mine will be Flammy. So by now, you should have edited the first stanza of your story map for the poem. I'm going to help you with the first line of the second stanza, and then I'd like you to have a go at editing the rest of your story map as the task for this lesson. I'm going to go through which words you need to change, and if you're finding it tricky to do all of the ones that I suggest, don't worry, just change what you can. The characters are the most important thing. Alternatively, if you want a bit more of a challenge, you can try innovating a bit more of the poem. Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl." Do you remember at the beginning of the video when we thought of rhyming pairs for our new character who's replacing the owl? Well, this is where you'll use that now. Fox rhymes with ox, so I might say, Flamingo said to the fox, "You elegant ox." These two words here need to rhyme. How charmingly sweet you sing. Can you try to change the word sweet? You can use another word that has the same meaning or a completely different meaning. It's completely up to you. Now the next two lines of the stanza, "Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried," and "But what shall we do for a ring?" You can keep these the same if you would like to. I've shown these in pink because this one's quite tricky, so you don't have to do it. If you want a chilly challenge, you can try and change this one too. Think of other words that mean married. Tie the knot, walk down the aisle, then see how you could make that work. So knot or aisle, not forgot, aisle, while. So your new line might be something like, "Let's walk down the aisle, we've waited a while." They sailed away. What can you rhyme with away? They sailed away for April and May, a decade and a day. To the land. Try and change this word, maybe to the place or to the kingdom, for example, where the bong tree grows. Now this is where you can be creative. Invent a new species of animal that lives in your kingdom, or a new plant. This can be anything you like at all. And there in a wood, your new character stood. Whichever animal you choose, you can do what our poet did. So for example, there in a wood, a goatee wote stood, with a ring at the end of his nose, his nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. Okay, time for the third and final stanza now. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling? So the first thing you need to do is to change the character of the pig. Now your new words for willing and shilling need to rhyme. I'm going to put these in pink because this is quite tricky. You might have to have a good think about this to make sure that it makes sense. Maybe something like, "Are you fine to sell for a dime?" They sort of rhyme. It's okay if you use a near rhyme, that will still sound good as well. If you find that one too tricky, you could just change the word sell instead. You could use swap, for example. Are you willing to swap for 1 shilling? So on this line, change the orange ones if you want it to be a little bit simpler, or if you want more of a challenge, change your character and the pink ones. Your ring, said the piggy, I will. Make sure you change your character here. So, they took it away and were married next day. By the turkey. Now you need to create a new character for this. And then for another pink challenge, decide where the character lives. If you do this, you also need to change I will from the second line, and you need to make those two words rhyme. So for example, said the piggy, I can. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives in a van. Can and van rhyme, but you can change the characters and words around however you like. They dined on mince and slices of quince. What will your new characters dine on? Remember, these two words need to rhyme. There's some ideas on the screen if you're stuck, but you're still going to need to match them up. And hand in hand, by the edge of the sand, what might your characters be doing? So my example is side by side at the edge of the tide. But you can come up with another version. I'm putting this in pink because this is quite a tricky one, so only do this if you want a bit of a challenge for yourself. They danced by the light of the moon. What might your characters be doing if not dancing? Maybe your characters are twirling or whirling or spinning or swaying or doing something completely different altogether. It's completely up to you.
The land where the bong tree
I hope you enjoy innovating your story maps, and I can't wait
a
to
piggy
see
wig
your
stood
fabulous
with a ring
ideas.
at the end of his nose.